Pilot fountain pens. Few brands inspire as much affection and loyalty as Pilot. And for good reason. Pilot makes some of the most extraordinary and iconic fountain pens available. And I have been waiting for a very long time to make a video that focuses on this amazing brand. And beyond fountain pens, they have the Axiom, Dr. Grip, G2, and so many others. Pilot has a hand in everything. But this channel focuses in on fountain pens, and wow, the fountain pens. From the anthropomorphic charm of the Pilot Kakuno, to the sleek sophistication of the Pilot Metropolitan, and at a very affordable price, to the absolutely exquisite and aquiline sleekness of the Pilot E95S, one of my personal favorites, to perhaps one of the most brilliant pens on the market today, the Pilot Custom 823, a true grail. Once you have this, you really don't need any other pen. It's just that exquisite. Let's not forget the democratic beauty and charm of the Pilot Varsity. How many of us got our starts with fountain pens with the Pilot Varsity? And there are so many more pens that I could speak of, Namiki and others, but today I'm going to focus on a very, very special offering from Pilot. I think the amazing thing about these Pilot fountain pens is their incredible quality and the consistency in their manufacturing. They're just so reliable, such a pleasant writing experience from each and every one that often belies their cost. So you get so much value out of each pen. And Pilot has had many innovations over the years, not the least of which was the first capless fountain pen, and one of those will be the focus of our video today. But before we get to the Pilot Capless LS, let's go back in time and tell the amazing story of Pilot. In 1915, Rosuke Namiki, of course, that makes sense, a professor from the Tokyo Nautical College in Japan, bravely left his job to found a small factory near Tokyo to make gold fountain pen nibs. In 1916, Mr. Namiki moved closer to his dream by expanding his product line until his company was a fully formed producer of writing instruments. In 1918, the Pilot Pen Corporation was officially founded by Rosuke Namiki with Masao Wado under the name of the Namiki Manufacturing Company. In researching this, the amazing thing to me is that Namiki predates Pilot. The early iteration of the company was known for a unique way of applying lacquer to the body of the pen and for using maki-e. In 1926, the company established overseas offices in Malaysia, Singapore, Boston, London, and Shanghai. In the 1920s, Alfred H. Dunhill sold Pilot pens in Paris, further expanding their reach. In 1938, the name of the company changed to the Pilot Pen Company. Pilot began manufacturing ballpoints in 1961, but that's not the focus of this channel. But it never abandoned its drive for innovation in the realm of fountain pens, and in 1964, they released their patented capless fountain pen model, the Vanishing Point. Kind of amazing to think that the Vanishing Point goes back 60 years. This leads us to this remarkable pen, the Pilot Capless LS, perhaps the apogee of Pilot fountain pen technology. It was released in that fateful month of November 2020. Now, throughout this video, I will be using the terms capless and vanishing point interchangeably because my pen does. On the box it says vanishing point, on the pen itself it says capless. Personally, I prefer capless. I just feel like it's a little quicker and it has this nice, succinct way of summing up what this pen is really all about. I'd also like to mention that I requested this pen from Pilot and they were kind enough to send it to me. So I'm really excited to be able to do this video. So this pen is the Pilot Capless LS, and that LS stands for Luxury Silent, which I rather wish it was SL because I think Silent Luxury is a little bit more easy on the tongue, but nevertheless, that's what it means. So now the question is, why is it called Luxury Silent? And this is because of its patented click and twist mechanism for releasing the nib from the body of the pen. This is not the click monster vanishing point that you're used to that makes that demonstrably loud clicking noise, which is fun when you're by yourself, but can draw some unwanted attention to you if you're in a meeting, especially if you like to fiddle with your pens. You just don't want that clicking noise shattering the solemnity of the room. So how does this fountain pen open? Just like the traditional vanishing point, it's very quick, so it's excellent for taking notes or when you need to write something down like a quick signature very quickly. So you simply depress the back, you click it essentially, but it's a gentle click. It's a silent click. And then when you want to return the nib back into the pen, you simply turn this little knob just a bit, and it continues moving on its own, and it slowly, deliberately retracts like the foldable power hardtop on a McLaren 720S Spider supercar. That's how beautiful and gentle and sweet and silent this mechanism is. It's smooth, luxurious. It almost feels intelligent. Well, it's certainly intelligent design. The nib opening and closing mechanism of this fountain pen is the raison d'etre of it. It's just an exquisite integrated design that is pleasant and fun to use. But there is also so much more. Look at this lacquered metal, the depth of the burgundy, the light, the color, the tones. It's a rich shadow of ruby. Now, as we move around this pen, what is it there that bifurcates it? A multifaceted ring reflecting light and shadow with its perfected edges. It looks like it could spin, like a camshaft or a turbocharger. There's also something like jewelry about it. It looks like some kind of beautiful ring. It's just so decorative and beautiful. Let's touch on the clip of this fountain pen. I think that's one of the more polarizing aspects of any vanishing point. It's in the same spot as the regular vanishing point pen. This one is very well executed. It's glistening in chrome. Personally, I like where it's situated. It certainly makes it easy to clip to your placard or anywhere else to keep it within easy reach, since I do look at this fountain pen as one that I use when I'm doing active writing. It's a fantastic museum pen. It's a fantastic notes pen. It's perfect for almost any workplace, and it's certainly great for quick jotting. But for that clip, if you're holding it a bit more traditionally, you won't have any issue at all. If you wrap your fingers around it, you may feel it, but I feel like it probably takes maybe a few minutes to adjust to that fountain pen. For me, it's very comfortable and just makes it that much easier to clip it somewhere. So let's talk a little bit about the feel and the dimensions of this fountain pen. It's a bit heftier than the regular vanishing point. It's close to 40 grams and it feels substantial in your hand, but it's so balanced that you're not so aware of its weight. Let's speak a little bit about the dimensions of this fountain pen. It's about 13 millimeters in girth, which makes it very comfortable to hold and to guide as you write with it. The length is around 138 millimeters, which is really a Goldilocks length. Makes it rather perfect to stow, to put away. It's going to fit in virtually every pen case you could possibly think of, or any pocket. Now let's touch on the weight. This pen is 39 grams. That makes it a bit of a hefty pen, but the balance is just so good, it makes it feel more luxurious. So it seems perfectly balanced in my hand. So before we ink up this pen and write with it, let's talk a little bit about the nib. The nib is the same one that's in the regular Vanishing Point at 18 carats. These nibs normally come in extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and a stub. This one comes in a fine, medium, and broad, but I can't see why you couldn't switch out if you wanted to. Now, I have always loved these nibs. There's something so sort of precious about them, how they're so small and they feel so precise. And because of their length and how they're manufactured, they just have a bit of softness. It's not flex. It's just very comfortable and forgiving, and yet very precise in how they write, a bit of a wet line, and just a joy, a smooth, wild slide across the page. I would say they feel, well, luxurious. So let's ink this one up and see how it writes. Now today I'm going to fill this from a bottle, and of course it uses the same Con 40 converter we all know and love. So it does have some ink capacity limitations, if you will. But if you have a short ink attention span, as I do, if you're ink promiscuous, as I am, then you can see this as a positive because it gives you an opportunity to try a whole bunch of different inks in this marvelous pen. So without further ado, let's take this super sleek supercar of a fountain pen out on the track and see how it does. Okay, here we are in the studio ready to ink up this amazing fountain pen, the Pilot Capless LS. A little bit of a puzzle box to get it open. Gorgeous. I think the first thing that strikes you with this fountain pen is its color. It's so rich, just such depth, such a great color. And then the ring, the just jewel-like character, how it reflects the light in all different directions with its facets. It's just really interesting, really well done. Then your eye goes to this mechanism. It's very sleek, all trimmed in chrome, very much like a Ferrari. Just that kind of attention to detail, design, balance. Now, of course, we need to pick a color for this fountain pen, and I'd love to use a Pilot ink, but I have to go with Diamine Oxblood. It's just a perfect complement. It's going to be exquisite together. So with the Con 40 converter, I won't have to use Oxblood very long. If I want to go with Yamabudo in a few days, well, I'll be able to do that because it doesn't hold very much ink. I see that as a plus. Now with these, I usually go in, fill it, out, empty it a few times just to make sure I get the best fill. Of course, we want to clean it up thoroughly. You don't want a drop of ink to spread around. Now, of course, this fountain pen is very easy to put back together. There's a little notch here that the Con 40 fits in, so it slides perfectly. And then you just screw it. Easy and ready to go. I have been having a blast with this Nemesine paper, so we're going to use this today. So that's all the noise it makes. Oh yes. Oh boy. This is exquisite. This feels very, very precise, but of course it does. Pilot nibs seem a bit more narrow than those produced in Europe, and it gives it that incredible precision, just that precise feel. I love it. It's very balanced in the hand. It's a bit on the heavy side, but you really don't feel it. I love the scribing noise. Do you hear that? It's like the roar of a V8 engine. You definitely feel a bit of the softness on the downstroke. Exquisite. Of course, closing it, just a simple twist and it does the rest. So easy to clip. I often put my pens right here. It's just an easy way to get to it. Sometimes I put it in my pocket as well. I don't always have a pocket. Then I go for the placard. And that's comfortable enough, even with this shirt, which is really quite thin. So this is a very pleasant writer, very precise, very enjoyable. Oh, and that noise, such a beautiful noise. Yes, yes. In conclusion, this is a $480 fountain pen that is very much the upgraded, more refined, more sophisticated version of the Vanishing Point. It is a gorgeous pen that is perfect for any social situation. It's quiet, so it does not draw attention to it. It has a certain old money feel about it. It whispers. It doesn't shout for attention. It's sleek, it's beautifully made, and it's a joy to write with. It's just a sign of all the amazing things that the Pilot Pen Company is capable of. And on that bombshell, it's time to end, but I want to thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about the Pilot Capless LS. Is this a fountain pen that you want to add to your collection? How do you see using it? I'd love to know. And if you've reached this point in the video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you along in this journey with us, and please share it with someone else who you think might enjoy these kind of videos. I'd love to meet some new people. And if you want to support the channel even more, membership is available. And for Cognoscenti and Illuminati members, I have a pen pal group, so that's a lot of fun too. Appreciate all the members. Thanks for being there. So I make new videos all the time, and I have a live show too, so I can promise you we will see each other again very, very soon, further up the road. So take care of yourself and keep writing.